Hello everybody, are we live? I believe we are. Welcome to something that is an experiment for today. I'm going to try it. I have no guarantees whether my internet is going to hold up because I'm trying to stream this and stream Now TV at the same time, so there might be a point where my internet is like, nope, not having it. But welcome everybody to the Belgian Grand Prix sprint race. It is about to start in about 8 minutes time, I reckon. We've already had some news. Pierre Gasly has had to have his car taken off the grid. There's an issue, I think it's with the engine or something, I can't remember. That's a good start, isn't it? There's an issue, but I don't know what it is. But yeah, Pierre Gasly's had to have his car taken off the grid to be looked at. Which is a shame for him because he qualified in a very mighty P8, so that's a real shame. Go to display capture now, if it will let me, please. Why won't you let me do display capture? Fuck off image, go away, remove. There we go. Right, so you should see a screen, a timing screen from F1 Dash. It was the best screen I could find. Hopefully I won't get like copyrighted to shit for it. I'm just going to check whether the sound is working because I'm always paranoid that it's not. Okay, well you seem to be good. Alright, cool. So yeah, this is going to be like a little experiment. We're just going to watch the race today. I'm going to react to it as we go, and if you guys like it, then I'll do it in the future. And also if my internet holds up, I'll do it in the future. So I might, if all goes well today for this sprint, I am planning to do a watch along for the race tomorrow as well. I won't do qualifying just because I think 2 in a day, you know, when I haven't done it before, is a bit excessive, and you know, we'll just see how it goes for now, you know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. We're back now to the adverts. I'd be a great commentator, wouldn't I? And this thing has happened, and this other thing has happened, which means that this thing is good. Just had Craig Slater before the break asking everyone really obvious questions. Oh, Oscar, do you think you can win if you're in first place? Do you think you'll lose if you're in second place? Is Max Verstappen going to come back and haunt everybody today? Don't know where that came from. Okay, so let's run you through the grid before we start. So we've got Oscar Piastri on pole for this race. We've got Max Verstappen on the front row in second, Lando Norris in third. The graphic is showing Piastri and Norris both on brand new tyres. Leclerc in fourth, Ocon doing a brilliant job yesterday to end up in fifth, Carlos Sainz in sixth, another excellent qualifying from him. Ollie Behrman in seventh, Pierre Gasly was eighth, he's now had to start from the pit lane, unfortunately. Hadjar in ninth, Bortoletto in 10th, Lawson and Sonoda in 11th and 12th, Russell and Alonso 13th and 14th. Is it going to let me go down and see the rest? Are you going to let me scroll down? Oh, yeah, we are. Stroll 15th, Albon 16th, Hulkenberg and Hamilton, who had an absolute shocker of a qualifying yesterday, although I think it was the car, an issue with the rear something. Oh, see, I'm all about the technical knowledge, and an issue with the rear something. The rear brakes locked, I think that was what the issue was, and that's why he ended up spinning round. Antonelli up to 19th after Franco Colapinto has had to start from the pit lane. So both Alpines having a dreadful start to this sprint weekend. Pierre Gasly, who was their only hope really, now having to start from the pit lane as well. So we got all the F1 intro up now. So yeah, we're just about ready to start. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this. I will do my best. So I'm no Murray Walker, but I will try my best to sound fairly competent, and hopefully you guys will enjoy. Crofty's doing his thing, although bearing in mind I haven't found a way, so I haven't got any headphones on me, so I'm having to watch this on mute, so I can't hear anything that Crofty and Brundle are saying. This is like pretty much all my own interpretation. So obviously we'll see some stuff like what drivers say on the radio, but apart from that, I can't hear anything. So if I can find a way to make that happen so that I can hear it and talk to you guys at the same time, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, we're just doing the starting sequence now and panning to the beautiful Ardennes Forest. It's such a beautiful track, isn't it, Spa? Like, it's just, I know everybody says it, everybody thinks it, but it really is one of the greatest circuits ever created, and I can't believe that F1 are even thinking about putting it on rotation. It's mental. You got tracks like Miami that are going to be here for the next 500 years, and then you got Spa that's put on rotation. It doesn't make sense. But now so just going through the starting grid now. Obviously we've already gone through it. It's up to like 11th and 12th, and so let's talk about this has been such a great start. So who do I think is going to win? My money's on Oscar Piastri. I know that the run to turn 5 is going to be a bit precarious for him with the straight line speed of Verstappen and Norris, but I think if he can survive, if he can get to Les Combes in the lead, I think he'll be fine, because he's had absolutely monstrous pace all weekend. He's looked so much quicker than everybody else. I know it's only practice and a quali run, but he's just looked so much faster than every single other driver out there. Took pole by, is it 6/10 of a second yesterday, which is just insane. So yeah, my money's on Oscar Piastri, but you never know. Max Verstappen, if he gets ahead, he can just manage it out front. The McLarens seem to be quicker in the second sector, but it's quite hard to pass in the second sector. So Verstappen should be able to cover them off if he does get in front. And obviously Lando Norris is a contender as well. If he gets a really good run up towards Les Combes, gets a really good slipstream, you never know, he could overtake both of them. So who knows? It's going to be very, very interesting. So we're about to go on the formation lap now. All the teams have pulled away to the side of the track to let their drivers take the formation lap. That one light has been on forever, but it normally is. That must be an absolute eternity for those drivers. That must be insane. So we're going to have 15 laps of this sprint race, which doesn't sound like a long time, but when you factor in that it's Spa and it is like a ridiculously long lap. I'm just going to try and see if I can get rid of all these bars at the bottom, so you don't have to see my... There you go, is that better? Can you still see everything? Oh, you can't see anything because I've got the fucking OBS on. I'm a good streamer. I'm a really good streamer. Can you still see the timing and everything? Yeah, looks good. Looks good on my screen anyway. Can't see the whole track, but I think he'll survive. Yeah, I just don't want those bars at the bottom. I just think it's a bit basic, innit? Right, so everybody is starting on medium tyres apart from Colapinto, who is on the soft tyre. I'm guessing he's going to try and make some places up early on. Obviously, there's quite a big difference this race between the soft and the medium. They've sort of brought us oh my god, there's 2 steps between the soft and the medium tyre. So I think the soft is a C1, the medium is a C3, and I think it's the first time that Pirelli have ever done that. So there's a massive differential between the soft tyre and the medium tyre. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of advantage that gives Colapinto as he tries to make his way through the field. Colapinto, a man who desperately needs a good weekend. Rumours that if he underperforms here, this could be his last race for Alpine, and either they put Jack Doohan back in the car, they give Paul Aron a go, or they draft in the wise old steady head of Valtteri Bottas for the rest of the season. But yeah, Pierre Gasly absolutely carrying that team right now. It's crazy to think that Alpine are last in the constructors and they've got 19 points. I think Martin Brundle was saying yesterday it's the highest points tally that a team in last has ever had at this point, which just shows you, I know McLaren have run away with it at the front, but it just shows you how competitive every team has been this year, you know, in the right circumstances. Yeah, the drivers are starting to make their way to the grid now. Oscar Piastri has that long wait. Like I said, it must be an absolute eternity for the pole sitter to wait for every single car to come round. But yeah, we know how Oscar Piastri is. We know he won't be feeling the nerves. Nerves aren't really in his vocabulary. Yeah. Apparently the lap tracker says we've already done lap 1. Unless it's just counting. Oh, it's just made a mistake. Right, green flag is out and the race is about to get underway. Don't get distracted by the timing tower when there's actual racing about to get underway. And here we go. Up to 5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go. Piastri gets a very good start. Verstappen also looking to try around the outside. I think Piastri's just about got it covered. Lando Norris staying in third, but he's tucked up right behind Verstappen as they come up to Eau Rouge and Radion. Piastri leads then from Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Ocon, all of that stuff. I don't think many places have changed hands, if any, at the moment. But here we go then, the run up towards Le Combe. Verstappen's going to have the slipstream. He's pulled out to the outside of Oscar Piastri. He's going for the move and he's got it done. Max Verstappen is up into first place. Oscar Piastri in second. Charles Leclerc has overtaken Lando Norris. So both McLarens have struggled coming out of that first part of the lap. I think that's Hadjar looking at the outside of Behrman. Didn't quite get it done. I think Yuki Tsunoda's made his way up into the top 10. I think we haven't had I can just look on here, can't I? I didn't realise I had a timing tower there. So Verstappen leads from Piastri, Leclerc, Norris, Ocon, Sainz in 6th, Behrman, Hadjar, Bortoletto and Lawson making up the top 10. Tsunoda just outside in 11th place. Have Hamilton or Antonelli made up any? Hamilton, they've both got past... oh no, that was only because Gasly came in. No. So they're 17th and 18th, but they were anyway because Gasly came into the pits. So yeah, so can Verstappen keep Piastri at bay for the rest of these 15 laps? That is what we are going to find out. As the cars oh, someone's going for a move on Tsunoda. That's George Russell, but wasn't quite close enough to try and get it done. So Verstappen leads at the end of the first lap from Piastri in second, Leclerc and Norris as we head into endless replay time, as we look up towards Les Combes, or the run to Les Combes, down the... I always forget what that straight is called. I should know it. I've watched Formula 1 for over 20 years. Max Verstappen pulling to the outside of Oscar Piastri, having that straight line speed, getting it done, sweeping round the outside into Les Combes and up into first place as they come down that straight again, but Piastri is not close enough to get back at him, and I imagine they're just going to file into a processional order now until the next time they come around. So for Max Verstappen, that's very important for him to get that done. I think we said if Piastri got to turn 5 unscathed, then he'd probably go on to win, but now he's got a battle on his hands because that McLaren, well, like it has been at every single circuit, is an absolute beast around here and should have the pace to try and get back in front of Verstappen. Doesn't tend to feel the dirty air as much as the other cars. Tends to deal with the dirty air a lot better. So hopefully that shouldn't be too much of an issue for Piastri's sake. But Verstappen doing very, very well to keep him at bay as they head into Blanchimont now. It's a lovely part of the track. I really do like it. Blanchimont heading into the bus stop, and yeah, it's just a really, I just love the circuit as a whole. But everybody does. So here we go then. On to lap 3, Verstappen keeps Piastri at bay for now, but Piastri is a lot closer as they head into La Source. Got a little bit twitchy on the exit there, I think, as he hunts down Verstappen, but I think definitely coming into this straight now, have the DRS, this is going to be a brilliant chance for Oscar Piastri to get back in front of Max Verstappen. Is he going to be close enough? We're riding on board with Oscar Piastri now as he tears off a strip from his visor. He's not quite close enough on this occasion. Verstappen managing to keep him at bay. 4 tenths between them. It looks a little bit closer than that, but maybe that was taken at oh no, it's a live thing, but obviously my perception of time is not great. But yeah, nearly a fifth of the way through this race now as we look at Isaac Hadjar, who's had a decent start. He's in 8th place. Hasn't gained anything, hasn't lost anything. Obviously, was the beneficiary of Gasly having to start from the pit lane. Gasly is now out of this race, so I'm guessing the issue he had was terminal, which meant I'm guessing he didn't even take the start. I just didn't notice. As we look at another replay of the start, pretty clean getaway for Spa, considering it's a short run to the first corner. There's a lot of rookies in the field. It's quite a clean run to the first corner, which was surprising. So we look at Hamilton, Verstappen's helmet cam. Beautiful shot as he lines up Piastri to go around the outside. He had the slightly quicker reaction off the line. I thought Piastri was initially better, but shows what I know. So look behind Oscar Piastri, that's Charles Leclerc going for it. That was a brave move from Leclerc. He had Piastri in front of him, he had Norris behind him. He probably found the only gap he possibly could have without hitting somebody. So very impressive from Charles Leclerc. He could be on for another podium, albeit a sprint podium, but he's kind of going along really well in that Ferrari. I know Hamilton's not too far behind him in the point standings. I mean, Silverstone aside, which was a bit of a disaster class, as Lando Norris gets the move done on Charles Leclerc and heads back into 3rd place. Why can I not remember what that straight's called? Why do I not know what that massive straight is called before Le Con? Why has that gone out of my head? I'm going to Google it now. Massive straight at Spa. I thought it was called the Kemmel Straight, and I was like, no, that's wrong. I thought, my brain was telling me something. Yeah, and I was like, no, I thought of it, and I was like, no, Kemmel Straight, that's not right, but it is right. Anyway, Oscar Piastri 6 tenths now behind Max Verstappen. Verstappen's managed to get a very nice cushion, and unless Piastri can get a really good run up Eau Rouge and Raidillon, and that's going to be his only opportunity, I think, because Verstappen just knows where to put the car, when to push, when to hold back. As we head on to lap 5 of this race now, as the loudest motorbike in the world heads past me. Verstappen a little bit twitchy on the exit, but he's alright. He's still got 6 tenths to Piastri as they head up towards the Kemmel Straight, up through Eau Rouge, up through Raidillon. Here we go, Piastri will have the DRS open. Can he get close enough to trouble Max Verstappen? He's gaining, but he's not quite there, and Verstappen manages to keep Piastri at bay for another lap. That's what this season needs, I think. It's more wheel-to-wheel racing between Piastri and Verstappen, as Kimi Antonelli makes a move on Nico Hülkenberg for 17th place. So Nico Hülkenberg not quite hitting the heights of last time in Silverstone, but I think that's always the case. I think after a driver has a great result, they always tend to struggle at the next race. I remember Pierre Gasly, after winning in Monza, I think they went to Mugello next, and I think he got taken out on the first lap. But yeah, it's always the case, I think, after a driver gets a great result, they tend to struggle in the next one. The Lord Mayor Show effect. As Piastri now continues to hunt down Verstappen. As they come through Blanchimont now. But yeah, Verstappen just doing enough to keep Piastri at bay. As we head on to lap 6 of this race, Piastri gets the DRS down the straight. Old team radio, just his engineer asking him how the tyres are doing. Piastri saying it's fine. Here we go then, Piastri a tiny bit closer this time. I still don't know whether it's enough, we're going to find out in a minute. He does feel closer. Gets the DRS open, is he going to reach Verstappen in time? Not quite. Obviously Verstappen saving all of his battery, I'd imagine, for that straight would be the wise thing to do. It's the place where he'd be the most susceptible. So at the moment it's Verstappen leading from Piastri, Norris in 3rd, Leclerc now in 4th, Ocon 5th, Sainz 6th, Behrman 7th, Hadjar in 8th. Those are the 8-point scorers from this race. As we look at Oscar Piastri going a little bit wide, kicking up a bit of dust on the exit of... I'm so bad with Spa corner names. I should know them by now. I should know them, but they all go out of my head. So I've only been watching F1 for 22 years. See, that's the thing I don't get. People slag off like new fans on Twitter, or like DTS fans, whatever, for not knowing certain bits. But then there's me, who's been watching F1 for nearly 25 years now. There's still a whole bunch of shit that I don't know. There's still a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know, and I've been watching F1 for nearly a quarter of a century. So people who like pick on new fans because they don't know stuff, like idiots. But anyway, Piastri is a tiny bit closer. It's 5/10 this time as opposed to 6/10 last time out. The camera has literally just been on these two for pretty much the entire race because it is such a fascinating battle. I think although Verstappen's pulled out a little bit, I don't think Piastri is going to be close enough this time around. I think he had a pretty poor exit out of La Source, and it allowed Verstappen to get away. And yeah, Piastri's not gonna bother him this time. Lando Norris just behind. Charles Leclerc having a pretty lonely race now in 4th. Quite a big gap to Norris and Ocon behind. It's just, yeah, it's kind of a procession really. They're just line of stern, as Martin Brundle would like to say, as Kimi Antonelli has a look at Lewis Hamilton. Both Hamilton and Antonelli really struggling to make gains in this race. It's quite surprising really, you know, they're Ferrari and Mercedes powered. Obviously I know they've got the likes of Albon and Alonso who are also in decent cars themselves. But yeah, both of them really struggling to make gains, so it's going to make the actual qualifying very, very important, because they both know that if they have any issues at all, Hamilton saying he's got no rear already after 7 laps, that's kind of worrying. But yeah, so Hamilton and Antonelli know they're going to have to put together a really good qualifying session, otherwise their race is looking pretty worrisome. I haven't used the word worrisome in forever, I don't think. Right, sorry, I was just checking whether something was working or not. Right, lap 8 and another Piastri versus Verstappen up Radion and Eau Rouge before the Kemmel Straight, and Piastri not getting close enough to overtake Verstappen, which seems to be the theme of this race. I think Verstappen just showing all of his experience here, knowing how to manage this race, knowing how to keep that gap to Piastri, almost like he's toying with him a little bit, saying that I know you're close, but you're not getting past. But maybe Piastri can get him eventually. I don't know, it just depends on how these tyres last, how the Red Bull holds up. But what this is starting to do is Lando Norris is starting to eat into their lead a little bit. He's now 1.3 seconds behind Oscar Piastri, and he is very slowly managing to hone in. So Norris could be, in a couple of laps' time, he could be in contention himself. So yeah, I think if I was Oscar Piastri, got to try and do everything he can to get this pass done as quickly as possible. Otherwise, he's going to have Lando on his tail, and he could end up in third. So yeah, just getting on board with Oscar Piastri as we head on to lap 9 of this race. The gap again, like half a second, 6/10. But I got to be honest, there's not a lot going on in this race. It hasn't been particularly exciting. There's been no real overtaking of any sort. We've had Antonelli getting past Hülkenberg. We've had Norris getting past Leclerc, Verstappen, Piastri on the first lap. That's pretty much it. There's barely been any... Oh no, hold on. Piastri has got a run, but he's not quite close enough. He had a really good run. They're probably the best run he's had so far, but not enough to get onto the back of Oscar Piastri, or Verstappen, sorry, as we now ride on board with Lewis Hamilton, who is having a miserable race down in P16. Can't even get close to Alex Albon as they head down the straight. He's got Kimi Antonelli right on his tail. Yeah, miserable weekend so far for Hamilton. And hopefully, for his sake, in the race or in qualifying, he can start putting it together a little bit. So I saw a stat that surprised me. Hamilton and Piastri are the only two drivers to have scored points in every single race so far, which is quite a stat really, considering Hamilton's hasn't had a podium yet, but he's been consistently gaining points, and that's probably why he's so close to Leclerc. You'd expect him to be a bit further away, as we're following him round now as he looks to try and get past Alex Albon, but not quite close enough at the moment. As we head back to this Verstappen-Piastri battle. But Lando Norris now very, very close. He's 6/10 behind Oscar Piastri. Could we see a Lando Norris on Piastri move this lap? We're probably going to see it before the end of the race, but we've now got 3 cars separated by an equal distance. Verstappen half a second from Piastri, half a second from Norris. But Piastri's managed to close the gap. Norris kind of struggled on that straight, couldn't get near him. But yeah, Lando Norris is definitely right into play now. Oscar Piastri has been left behind Verstappen for too long. But Max Verstappen just using all of his experience, all of his know-how to keep these McLarens behind him, as we're now 2/3 into this race. Yeah, I've enjoyed doing this so far. This has been nice. It was a bit of a scramble this morning because I got up quite late, a lot later than I was anticipating. I got up like 9:30 and I was like scrambling around trying to get everything ready, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be prepared for this in time, but I was. And wish I brought my drink with me. I've left it in my kitchen. Oh man. Right, so on to lap 11. Verstappen, Piastri, Norris all separated by just over a second. So this is going to be a very, very fascinating battle up towards Les Combes. They're all so So close. If anyone's going to make a move, it could well be now. I think Piastri's the closest he's ever been to Verstappen. Norris is the closest he's ever been to Piastri. Verstappen is going defensive, he's weaving. Piastri's got to run. He's trying to look round the outside. Verstappen covers him off. But that is Piastri's best opportunity so far. But Verstappen is really starting to feel it. He's saying, I can't brake on the peak. Really, really struggling now, Verstappen. So this is going to be Piastri's best chance. It's going to be Norris's best chance as well. I think next lap is going to be the lap to try and make it count as they make their way into the last sector. Now Lando Norris currently holds the fastest lap with a 1:45.9 should I say, as he was hunting down Piastri and Verstappen before. But yeah, it's so tight between these front three now as we head on to start lap 12. They're all so close. You could put, I don't know, you could put like a long stick between the three of them. A long stick, Len, yes. I do my best Alan Partridge impression, but enough of the Partridge impressions. This could be a really important part of the race as they head up through Eau Rouge and Radiant onto the Kemmel Straight. Can Piastri get close enough? I don't think he is. Nah, not this time. Right, I just need to go and get a drink quickly. Hopefully nothing happens in the time that I'm away. Okay, cool. Right, I feel my throat feels slightly better now. I think I can see out these last. I think I can see out these last 3 laps, hopefully. So Verstappen's pulled out a little bit of a gap, 8/10 per second. Norris is 6/10 behind Piastri. But that is pretty much. Oh, Gasly is in this race. He's just 2 laps down. Colapinto's soft tyres have not worked. He is 6 seconds behind Hülkenberg. Apologies, just throat is suffering a little bit. As we head on to lap 13 of this Grand Prix, the Premio de Belgian Grand Prix. That's definitely the name for it. Oh, Norris got a decent run through La Source there. He could be right on the back of Piastri this lap. I think this might be Norris's best run. He absolutely nailed that apex through La Source. And Norris, chasing Piastri for seconds, is going to be right on the back of him. This could be a battle here between the two McLarens. It's not quite going to be close enough. Obviously, Piastri had DRS for Verstappen as well, which enabled him to stay in front. People say that, like, battles at the front are only good if there's an overtake, or races are only good if there's an overtake. But races are good. You've got 3 people at the front who are so close to each other, who could pass each other at any moment. Even if an overtake doesn't get done, the tension and excitement of watching that is just as good as if there was an overtake every single lap. You know, I remember, like, was it Singapore 2023, when you had Sainz, Norris, Russell and Hamilton all battling for the lead. And yeah, an overtake didn't get done, but watching having the tension of 4 cars being separated by like a second, that was even better than if you were watching overtakes happen every single lap. You know, Sometimes it's about the battle rather than the outcome. It's me trying to be deep there. It didn't work. We're actually watching some other cars. It's back to Lewis Hamilton. His battle with Alex Albon. He's still down in 16th. Still having a pretty miserable race. But thankfully for him, it'll be over in a couple of minutes. He might have a decent run into the bus stop chicane. I don't know, because the camera's decided to pan away at this particular moment. We can see Norris on the mini screen heading up to the Kemmel Straight, but the F1's decided because he's like 8 tenths behind Piastri and he's not going to make anything happen here. Yeah, Verstappen survives for another lap. Thibaut Courtois is going to wave the checkered flag. I forgot the word wave then. Let's hope, like every other celebrity, doesn't completely screw it up. Yeah, a lap and a half to go. It's one that Max Verstappen has very much controlled. Used all of his experience to keep Piastri and Norris from getting past him. Very, very good race management from Max Verstappen. And it's definitely given the McLarens something to think about for the race. Because in clean air, McLaren's pace is monstrous. But yeah, Verstappen's just been far too good. And people who call Max Verstappen a car merchant and say that he can't do it without Adrian Newey, well, he's probably had the poorest car this year that he's had for a long while, and he's still managing to win races, albeit this is a sprint one. But anyway, 1 lap to go, could all change as we head into La Source for the final time. Piastri half a second down, Norris 7 tenths down on Piastri. So you would feel that this is going to be Oscar's last chance to try and make something happen. He's got a decent run. Is he going to be close enough? Half a second as he gets the DRS open, makes his way down the Kemmel Straights, but Max Verstappen has covered it off, and it's pretty much been the same story that it's been for the last 15 laps. I mean, to be honest, there's been a decent battle with the front three. Bit of tension there, but apart from that, there's been virtually nothing that's happened in this race. There's been no notable highlights from anybody else. I think barely anybody has changed position. It's been pretty much line of stern throughout the whole thing. I think Russell overtook Stroll. Antonelli overtook Hülkenberg. Hamilton's now overtaken Alex Albon for 15th. We've just seen that on the timing tower. We haven't seen a replay of that yet, but apart from that, it hasn't been the greatest race we'll ever see. But yeah, it looks like Max Verstappen is going to take this one as he heads up towards Blanchimont now. And it's a race that he has very, very much deserved. Got the move done early. Kept Piastri and Norris at bay and proved yet again why he is, in my opinion, by far the best driver on the grid. And one of the best Formula 1 drivers of all time. Max Verstappen rounds the final corner and wins the Belgian sprint race. Piastri takes second, Norris takes third. Brilliant win for Max Verstappen. Very, very well controlled. First weekend with Lauren Mekies as the team principal as well, so a very, very good start to his reign. I didn't really mention that. Yeah, first weekend without Christian Horner. Don't really seem to be missing him. So they're going the whole way around this time. Normally they just file in through the pit lane, but I wonder if that's a race thing. But yeah, Leclerc finishes 4th, Ocon in 5th, great result for him. Sainz 6th, Behrman 7th, and Hadjar in 8th, taking the points paying positions. Decent results for all of those guys from 5th down to 8th. Bortoletto in 9th, Lawson 10th, Sonoda 11th, Russell in 12th. Stroll 13th, Alonso 14th, Hamilton 15th, Albon 16th, Antonelli 17th, Hülkenberg 18th, Colapinto 19th, and Gasly in 20th. So yeah, great start to Lauren Mekies' reign as Red Bull team principal. Max Verstappen doing the business for him. And hopefully this is a good platform to build off. Give Red Bull a lot of confidence going into the race, that they can challenge McLaren if they can get in front of them early. You see Piastri's team radio now, but I can't hear it, so I can't tell you what he's saying. But yeah, I think McLaren will be a little bit disappointed they couldn't get it done. Because we definitely know they have the pace in clear air. They're much faster than everybody else, but like I said many times during this stream, just Max Verstappen using all of his experience to ensure that victory. So yeah, so Leclerc in 4th, I think that's the best he could have done really. Wasn't going to get anywhere near the top 3. Did well to pass Norris on the first lap, but yeah, I think 4th was the best he could hope for. Ocon doing brilliantly well to stay in 5th. Him and Behrman in 7th, so another really decent points haul for Haas. That midfield battle is really, really hotting up now. Ocon having a very quietly good season. He's in the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship. He's always one of those. He pops up in the points, and you just think, how the hell did he get there? Carlos Sainz getting 3 points for Williams in 6th place. Obviously Albon struggling this weekend so far. Carlos Sainz is there to pick up the pieces and bring Williams some much needed points. Obviously Williams on quite a poor run of form at the moment, so it'd be very much appreciated that Sainz has picked that up. And then another point for Isaac Hadjar in 8th, who again, like I've said a lot, is having an excellent rookie season. I think he's been Rookie of the Year so far. A lot of other people do too, as the top 3 file into their slots, or their number boards, or whatever the hell you call them. So Max Verstappen, brilliant win for him. McLaren probably scratching their heads a little bit, give them something to think about for later. I definitely want to try and make sure they get a 1-2 in qualifying. That will definitely go a long way to helping. But even if Max Verstappen is 3rd, you can never count him out really. But yeah, so that is the sprint race done and dusted as Max Verstappen raises his arms to the crowd. Obviously other mentions, obviously Hamilton and Antonelli really, really struggling to make their way through the pack. Hamilton only managing to overtake Albon, Antonelli only managing to overtake Hülkenberg. So a lot of disappointment there, and they'll be having to make sure that they have a really good qualifying. Otherwise, they're going to have similar struggles in the race. Although with the tyre differential, in strategy, maybe it won't be so much of an issue. Who knows? But yeah, there we go. I am going to end it there, because I don't think I've really got any much to talk about, because like I said, it wasn't the best race in the world, if I'm being brutally honest. Can I get my image back up? Or can I be bothered? Nah, I'll leave it there. Right, there we go. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, George. Glad you enjoyed it, mate. Sorry, I was quite late to the chat. I don't know if that was a recent message. I haven't looked for a while. Good streamer I am. Not even paying attention to the chat. Thank you, George, for watching. Really appreciate you being here, mate. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to see more like this, then please let me know. And yeah, I'll make it happen. I probably won't do the qualifying. If I do another watch along, it will be the race, the actual race itself, and we'll just see how we go. But the internet managed to hold up really well, so that was a positive. I was worried it was just going to buffer all the time and not work, so that's a positive. So thank you very much for joining me. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please consider leaving a like on there for me. And if you're new around here and you like what you see, why not get subscribed so you can see more of this stuff. But I'm going to love you and leave you. Thanks once again. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you for the race tomorrow. Thanks once again.